Welcome to the first ever episode of With All Due Respect by Kass&zena. And today's topic is about basically the system is broken.
Let me start by sharing what I have been hearing and seeing everywhere, not just within the GCC, but from a global landscape as well.
Mhm,
Companies feel like they're window shopping
mhm,
instead of really hiring.
mhm.
Headhunters feel more like they are more transactional these days, more so I call it like real estate agents.
Tell me about it.
Most of them even initiate contact over WhatsApp with a new candidate, confirm jobs, ask you how much do you want without really understanding your background, your
Mhm,
profile. How could they match you to the upcoming vacancy or possibly other opportunities in the future?
mhm,
Companies interview several people, and sometimes you walk into the interview where you're seeing the candidate that was just having the interview before you, and while you're walking out seeing the second upcoming candidate. And I've experienced it personally myself and heard many others that did as well. Most people at this level know each other through
Yeah,
networking events, through professional events.
because basically the confidentiality is the corner crying.
100%.
Okay.
Recruiters, also, on the other hand,
Mm,
whether in house or headhunters, they feel overwhelmed because of the number of applications that are coming through, and also with AI filtering candidates that should be filtered for the job, they're filtered out. The candidates are feeling absolutely disposable. I call the candidate experience today more like dating apps.
mm.
So you get matched and then you get excited about your new
You
match.
go on the first date?
You go, you have the first conversation, second
Mm,
conversation, sometimes 5 to 6 conversations, and then you get ghosted.
okay.
You get breadcrumbs.
Mm,
The job changes overnight, so
mm,
maybe you get swiped off,
mm,
or basically have to adjust into what is the new role or the new setup.
mm,
So nothing is really what it seems these days,
mhm,
and the candidates are feeling frustrated. Neither the headhunter or the recruiter is getting back to the candidate with an actual rejection.
mm,
Oh, we're restructuring. Oh, the position is on hold. What is happening is the candidate is facing absolute silence after weeks and months of stalled process
okay.
without any reply. And at the end of the day, a rejection is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Not every role you're going to interview for, you're
Mm,
going to get.
mm.
But what is not fine, and what I'm aiming for people to hear today, is basically it's getting humiliating and it's insulting for candidates with their experience, their maturity, regardless if they are fresh graduates or senior level employees. Candidates deserve an answer on what's happening in the process.
We're talking about here the candidates that go in for an interview or they get approached by a recruiter and then they get ghosted. Is that right?
Yes, it's one of the examples
Okay.
that I'm giving, that candidates, not
Mm,
just within the GCC territory, because I do speak with people all across the globe and I hear
mm,
the same trend.
mm,
People in Australia, people in US,
mm,
UK, Europe, everyone is sharing the same experience
mm,
and frustration about either applying for jobs without getting any answer or getting into the process, whether they apply or headhunters or recruiters reach out to them directly. The process kickstarts: one interview, two interview, three interviews, sometimes 5 to 6. And at the end of the day, they're told that the role is not even open,
mm,
or they're restructuring,
mm.
or the hiring date is delayed, or they never even get an answer. And they keep on being in this dilemma.
Let's imagine you're a candidate for a second, right? How do you feel about approaching recruiters and dropping them message on, I assume, LinkedIn, because that's where a lot of recruiters are, and they read your message and they don't respond to you? What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, it depends
Mm.
on the message that I tried to send. I do understand that even me personally, I'm not a recruiter, I'm in
Mm,
the HR field. I do get messages right, left, and center on a
mm,
daily basis.
mm,
And sometimes it's overwhelming to reply.
mm,
But if you drop a short message, whether you're targeting a specific role, a specific job, a
mm.
small intro, that is easier for someone to respond to rather than someone sending you a message
With a summary.
either with a summary or
Mm,
copy paste or misspelling your name. I do get that all the time. So If it looks like a chat GPT generated message or a plead for help or beg or repetitive, or sometimes they're sending you the same message several times, then it becomes frustrating. But if it's a simple, straightforward message, someone trying to reach out, introduce their profile, or apply to a specific job, the least we can do is reply. I mean, it takes 1 to 2 seconds to send a
Sure.
reply.
So I mean, like, let me walk you through behind the scenes, right? I mean, as a recruiter in general, because it's bothering me, to be honest. And first of all, I want to talk about the messages, right?
So you'll tell us, why is it a jungle these
Yeah,
days?
yeah. In a way. But I mean, like, I don't want to throw people under the bus. Let's put it that way. I'm literally talking about the people who read your message, and if they can reply, they wouldn't. And I've heard that multiple times, by the way. Recruiters nowadays, they treat people as a product. We are in an industry where it is all about people. It's not a transactional relationship. At the end of the day, what the person I'm going to reply to today, tomorrow he could be your client, from a recruiter
100%.
point of view. The candidates, have been told that as well. They have fear inside of them to even message those recruiters now. The reason behind that, because the recruiters don't respond, or the way they respond, it's very vague, and as if like, who are you and why are you messaging me, and that shouldn't be the norm. Like, the amount of times candidates told me, you're the only recruiter who ever responded to me, you're the only recruiter who ever messaged me. I wouldn't take that as a praise. I'll take that like there's something is wrong. I mean, we're in an industry where people need to rely on us. Obviously, it's not only about the numbers, it's about people will make the numbers here. So now you're talking about you're an HR leader, and you receive a lot of messages as well, and you get overwhelmed. Like, I understand. Like, if I walk away from my desk, come back, there's 30 new messages, and if I sit down, reply to 10, another 10 comes. So it's a non-ending process. However, what's missing from a recruiters, or most of them nowadays, is the sense of being human, or treat people like humans, and that's what I think it needs to be fixed.
Okay, we spoke about the messages.
Yeah.
However, I'd like you to shed the light more on maybe what candidates do not see as part of the process in terms of the delay in responding, or basically maybe client changing requirements overnight. Tell us, Kassem, what happens behind the scenes, and what is the recruiter headhunter experience managing the relationship with the candidate and with the client at the same time?
You deal today with a recruiter. This recruiter is very responsive up until a time where that person stops responding to you. And this is where you consider it as ghosting. Is that right? In
Possibly.
a way. Okay. So it could be for a couple of reasons. Let's say, to start, number one, you have the person, either they have a candidate on the final round and they don't want to lose the other candidate, for example. They want to finalize that candidate, make sure that candidate take the job, sign the offer, resign. That's when they want to reject the other candidates.
Then you should at least either keep me warm, and possibly not keep 5, 7, 10 candidates warm in the process. And maybe the negotiation or offer, etc. It does take 1 week to 10 days.
100%.
But I'm speaking about ghosting, forever ghosting. As a recruiter, I do assume you tell the candidate that it will take 2 weeks for me to get back to you. Then the expectations of the individual that in 2 weeks I'm gonna hear back again. But when 2, 3, 4 pass, it doesn't make sense. And let's say the priority candidate that was selected took a counter offer or rejected, and you're gonna come back to me. How is then my position?
Yeah, I agree. The recruiter is in the wrong here. I'm not saying, I'm not defending them. This is wrong. It shouldn't be the case. And like, we're talking about, what are they doing behind the scene? If they ghost you and then come back to you, this is the behavior that needs to stop.
Could it be that you're handling multiple roles at the same time?
It doesn't matter.
And the client didn't get back to you, so you deprioritize these candidates. Maybe the client is ghosting you.
It doesn't matter. If my client is ghosting me, for example, I'll go back to the candidate and I tell him, look, by the way, I'm still waiting for feedback, but unfortunately I can't get hold of the client. It's the transparency we're talking about here.
Absolutely. What about clients when they change requirements overnight, or they give you a mandate that they want a unicorn with a small package? I think people would want to listen, because at the end of the day, you want to get candidates who will find the role interesting and attractive, and you want to please the client. How do you handle these situations?
I mean, that comes from the briefing of the job role that I have. When I'm speaking to the client, and the client, I need X, Y, and Z. Eventually, he needs his mini him, but with half the salary that he gets. Or a candidate that is responsible, covers multiple functions, and they want that person to exist. I'm always straightforward with the client. That client needs to have an open budget for that person, or at least be willing to pay what's the market rate. And if you're willing to add multiple functions to that specific candidate to cover, you need to pay as well. So
But we both know, Kassem,
that wouldn't
sometimes it
happen.
doesn't happen.
Yeah. I walk away,
Sometimes,
by the way. I walk away from this type of roles. It could be a way where, like you mentioned earlier, a fake role where you just interview people for the sake of building a network or building their pipeline for another roles that might come in the future, which is also wrong. Like, I don't have the answer for it. I generally walk away from it because it's an unfillable role. And again, the clients need to be aware of that.
okay. Before we get into what's wrong in the
Mm.
market today, anything else you want to mention from a headhunter recruiter perspective?
If someone is in a position where he's looking for a job, try to help him, advise him, guide him. At least you put them forward for other people that could be willing to either to recruit them or to find them a job. And that's that the people will remember you.
That differentiates a real recruiter from a transactional one.
100%.
We do understand that
Yeah.
everyone is busy,
But-
and obviously candidates should be patient.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Recruiters will not give them an update every day. We are speaking about the extreme cases that we are seeing now. Let's move to what's wrong in the market today.
Okay.
You've mentioned the unicorn, and I've seen it as well, that
Yeah.
people want a joker. I call it a
Yeah.
joker rather than a unicorn. 1, 2, 3 roles clubbed in one with the salary of half a person. Then I am seeing a change focusing on the GCC region.
Okay.
In the past, no one used to come to the UAE without a job offer in their hands.
Yeah.
Today, you see a lot of people from all around the world wanting to move to Dubai, and we all love Dubai very much.
Yeah.
However, these people are coming to just take any role that comes up, and these are senior people, professional people at all levels, all industries. They take any salary just to set their foot in, and then they search for something that would be better. Companies, at the other hand, they are finding professionals for a cheaper pay, and they think they've hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
What is happening is that these candidates do not have the regional experience, because most roles in Dubai have a regional context or local context. These professionals realize that this is not enough as a salary and will start looking again. What's happening, it's hitting the people who are within the country, within the region, with tons of experience, with market relevance, that even if they are not happy where they are sitting today, they are no longer being able to move to something that is similar or better. So the salary scales I see have been hit, and it's becoming a vicious cycle. And at the end of the day, companies think they are having an advantage paying less, but the recruitment cost of hire, rehire, back and forth is getting really big.
100%. Look, it's also affecting the old timers, like you said. People who've been here in the country for this 5, 10, 15 years, right? Now they're struggling to find a job because other people coming from outside on a cheaper salary is taking their jobs. It is unfortunate, and I know Dubai is for all, and I know this country is for all. However, like, organizations need to know that the pay and experience comes for a price. Like, if you need to find someone with this regional experience, like you said, or even that local experience, understand the market, understand the culture, because the culture is very important. You need to know this is why they're expensive.
And if I may interrupt you here, Kassem, in the recruitment process, it's the first mirror of an organization's culture. We are in a world preaching a lot about inclusivity and diversity, yet in recruitment, we are seeing that we are going backwards. Although English is the international language, in the UAE per se, we find a requirement for a Chinese speaker or for a Russian speaker, or the job advertising on LinkedIn
Mm.
itself, although I do understand it's not allowed, saying that we are willing to relocate someone from the UK or British national is required. In a world where we're being more inclusive, is that also a code for British national? Are we looking for someone that looks like a British national or holds the passport?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, they can challenge you and say it's for diversity reasons. One thing you're talking about the change, especially on the market, right? The difference between nowadays and back, what was it? Before the recession that happened, like 2008 days, 2007. It was a market where recruiters used to approach and beg candidates to respond. There were a lot of jobs in the market and there wasn't enough candidates. And the candidate used to do the ghosting back in the days, Now, the difference is so many candidates out there. A few days ago, I been to an event where LinkedIn were talking about the new AI assistant. What does that mean? I literally tell her what I'm looking for and I walk away. I can go and have a coffee, come back, already done the pipeline for me. What does that mean? LinkedIn will find and source whatever I need, and I'll approach only those people. So what happened to the other people, for example? What about the people that maybe they applied for that job, but maybe their LinkedIn is not up to date? I will miss on them. As a human, if I'm looking for them, I will have the doubt or like, maybe, let me try, let me approach them. But AI will miss all of those people. So you're right. I mean, I wouldn't be able to message everyone. I'll try to message and respond to as much as I can, because ultimately I'm not a machine. Machine can reply that. However, machine can also filter out so many of those candidates.
And machines sometimes send the wrong reply.
Mm,
The other day, someone was telling me they received a rejection letter thanking them for the time
yeah.
that they've come to the interview, but they were not selected and they weren't
Oh,
even contacted for the role.
that's the typical
So,
emails. Yeah.
okay, let's talk about tap into the psychological safety.
Mm,
It does take a toll
yeah.
because from a company perspective, when they implement an ATS tool,
Mm,
AI,
mm,
etc., they believe they can have more efficient recruitment teams,
mm-hmm.
where our recruitment teams are still overloaded with people randomly applying whether
Yeah.
they fit or they don't fit. Headhunters as well. There are so many headhunters. Companies don't want to pay the cost. So it's becoming also competitive from a headhunter point of view.
Yeah.
And it is frustrating at the end of the day.
Mm.
And I think, regardless where you sit in that process, there is
There's always something missing,
the
Zena.
insecurity
Yeah.
of what am I doing wrong?
Mm.
Is it me or is it the system that is
It's the
broken?
doubt. It's the doubt. We are now in an age where we need to adapt. So yes, no matter what we have, you will still be ghosted. I'm telling you, you will still be ghosted. The
Me
reason,
personally,
not you, like in general, whoever is listening, you will still be ghosted because nowadays we're relying too much on the artificial intelligence.
allow me to challenge you here.
Okay, yalla, go ahead.
Let's say I'm an applicant that have been missed. I
Hmm.
do not consider that ghosting. I applied, no one replied.
Yeah.
What I consider ghosting is
Mm.
that you engage with me as a headhunter.
Mm.
I do a couple of interviews and then you're gone with the wind.
Yeah.
That is the essence of ghosting.
Okay. Well, I agree with you. There is no comment I can add here. That shouldn't be the case in general. If I ghost you today, you'll not gonna remember who's Cass in the future. But this is what I'm saying. What's missing now, building relationship is a huge key. And that's what used to be the case 15, 20 years ago. Because without the human element, without the relationship, then why you even work it? AI can do your job. 100%.
How can we fix it?
You need to go back to your roots. You're human, treat people as humans, treat them with decency, right? But this comes with manners, Zena. But from a candidate perspective, what do you think needs to be fixed there?
I believe candidates should set boundaries
Yeah.
because maybe out of despair or eagerness or passion, candidates let go and give in and are more accommodating. Recruiters should stop hiding behind the AI shield.
Yeah.
And again, as you said, be more human.
Mm.
Headhunters to stop being transactional, regardless of which candidate you're hiring. Today, they're a candidate, tomorrow, they might be a client or
Yeah.
your partner. So, the key message here, how to fix it is just be transparent. It's okay to say, you know what, the role is on hold. You know what, we decided not to hire anymore. We decided to take an internal candidate. But also, to all companies, stop fantasizing about the unicorn because unicorns do not exist.
I heard that you have questions for me. Do you want to shoot them?
Okay, I do have a couple of questions for
Great,
you.
yeah, I'm ready.
How long, in your opinion, should a candidate's intro be?
Right? It shouldn't exceed a minute to minute and a half maximum, depending on your years of experience.
How many interview rounds are deemed acceptable before it becomes disrespectful?
17.
Come on.
Is for me, I would say, depending again on the seniority, it shouldn't exceed 5 rounds of interviews. If the position is too senior, there's multiple stakeholders are involved. If it's a mid-level, it shouldn't be more than 2 to 3 rounds maximum.
Okay. If headhunters and recruiters had an honesty button, what would they say 90% of the time?
I don't like you. I don't think you're a right fit, and hang up the phone. That's the honesty. What happens nowadays, we keep listening and listening. Up until 20 minutes later, thank you for your call. I will come back to you. And then 2 days later, you try to reject
ghost them?
No, 2 days later, you reject them. But at least you want to be, again, you don't want to be rude. Maybe it's not the right fit for this role. Could be for another role, right?
I have no further questions for you.
What we can do is to kind of wrap it up. And I have the top 5 things that should be illegal in recruitment.
Ghosting.
That is actually number 1. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, okay.
Breadcrumbing.
Breadcrumbing. It's about the building fake roles.
Fake roles.
That's number 4.
Changing the requirements.
Didn't hit my top 5, Zena.
Role is not available.
No. Think. I can give you a hint. Interviews.
A number of interviews.
Yes.
That's actually how many people are on a panel? We should have talked about that.
That's actually number 2. It's basically calling a 2-month process and a 16 round of interviews a fast track.
100% or 9 people on a panel of 30 minutes. So basically, to sum it up, the breadcrumbing, fake roles, too many interviews, too many people on a panel, the ghosting. So
you still have number 3 and number 5. It's telling candidates that are overqualified.
Oh my, yes. We didn't talk about that enough today.
Because, I don't think the candidate should take that as a compliment or feel depressed after that because they didn't get the job.
Sometimes it's an insult. Actually, I did write a post about that the other day. How did I miss that?
And the last one is, okay, I'll help you out. You gave me 3, I'll give you 2, is writing a competitive salary when it's clearly not.
Absolutely.
However, Zena, look, and even to our listeners, with all due respect, the system isn't working here.
So to our listeners, whether you're a line manager, a candidate, a recruiter, or a headhunter, ask yourself, what are you tolerating? How are you handling the process if you're the owner of a part of the process? How can we all make it better and fix this issue?
Amazing.